Welcome to Global Health and Wellness Practitioners YouTube channel, where we're giving exposure to great practitioners while educating and promoting comprehensive health and wellness globally. Today we're speaking to Hayley from the UK, what I'm calling the raw and real hemp health and wellness goddess. Welcome, Hayley. So glad you're here. This is exciting to see you. And can you tell us some of your background story?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. So I think deep down, like ever since I was a child, I've been called a witch doctor's dream. And I've always been super interested in essential oils and making potions and lotions. And I think in the area that I grew up in, the school that I went to, the world that I was in, that wasn't really normal. So I suppressed that quite a lot. And from a young age, around the age of 16, I got really ill. I got shingles, and that led to fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, all those different things. And I kind of fought on through using pharmaceutical drugs and doing everything that, the doctors told me to do, the things that you thought were right. But in the end, I look back and I think they probably just continued my sickness for a lot longer. So about 4 years ago, we're coming up to it now, I was on holiday in Barbados and I was by myself. And every morning I used to get up and I used to walk and watch the sunrise. And I stood on the beach one morning and honestly, it felt like I had a physical slap in my face. And the message was, you need to go back home. You need to change your life. And you just need to pack up and leave. Bearing in mind, I had a 14-year-old business doing massage therapy, remedial sports, pregnancy, all the good stuff. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. This is the message. So 8 weeks later, everything was packed up and I was on a flight to Hawaii. And I don't know what I was doing. I just got to Hawaii. But during the whole traveling experience over the next year or so, I actually had a reflare of my health. And I came back to England after about a year and a half of traveling to Hawaii, South Africa, all around. And I just was really unwell. My mental health was really not good. My body was in complete flare-ups, like full body pain, discomfort. I went to the doctors. They gave me some medication and I laid out there in the garden. And I thought I was going to die. I literally couldn't play with my niece. I couldn't get off the floor. And I thought, this is enough. So my fiance is from Hawaii and he turned around to me. He said, we need to get you CBD, Hayley. We need to get you CBD. So I was really anti-social media. I put a post out and it said, CBD UK, where are you? One person replied to me and it was a guy from Hawaii. And he got me in touch with a lady from Hawaii who then sent me a link. I sat on it for about a week or two, went onto it. I bought the product and here we are.
I had chills the whole time.
What I want to share about CBD and why we need it in our lives is that we have a system in our body called the endocannabinoid system. And it's not a very, very discussed system, but it is as important as any other system in our body. And if you have an endocannabinoid deficiency, it's going to lead to a multitude of issues. And I like to think of the endocannabinoid system as our balancer, our regulator, our bringer of homeostasis. And so, as we all know, homeostasis is how we should be. It is the level playing field that our bodies should be working at. So if we are out of balance in some way in our modern world, if we think of it like a child's mobile that hangs from the ceiling and it's just balanced, if something goes out of balance and then you go to the doctors and they give you some medication, you like add a little bit of weight to this side, then something else is out of balance. So you have to then try and bring it back by another medication. But that puts you out of balance. So we're forever fighting in the modern world to bring homeostasis into our body. But CBD has been around. I think it was Queen Victoria that used to use it for her menstrual cycles. If you look back at old housewives' cookbooks, like cannabis is in there as as medicine, as nature's helper to get you back on track. So the difference though between, you know, everyone branches cannabis with marijuana. But hemp is the kind of CBD that we're looking for, that, you know, you and I take on a daily basis. And that is really high in CBD and really low in THC. And THC is what gives you the psychoactive effects. And so that is why we're looking at CBD that is packed full of cannabinoids. And so I think there's over 120 in the hemp plant. And CBD and THC are just one of that 120. There's obviously hundreds more, but we want a high CBD ratio and a low THC to get the healing effects. And so that's what the product I use has, and that's where I have seen, you know, the effects for me. Well, to be very personal and raw, at the age of 8, I had my first menstrual cycle. And so if you can imagine the impact that that's probably had on my body. So I have a lot of balancing to do, not just on a physical level. My mind gets overloaded, like worrying. You know, I'm the classic kind of overthinker and panicker. And so I use this. So I was a bit nervous before I came on here. So I've taken a few drops. It calms me down. Going to sleep, I sleep better. I was the kind of person that, honestly, if I woke up 5 times a night, that was okay. And now I think I wake up once and I don't really know that I've woken up, you know. So it's balanced my sleep. My skin, ever since a young age, it's looked a bit like a pizza. And ever since this came into my life, it's balanced my skin. I started having, I think it was from stress, but my hair, can you see all this is like baby hair? It was really gone. Like, it was kind of really bare. And then I was topically putting a bit on, and I was orally taking it. Digestive complaints run in my family, where if you're in stress, you know, you don't know which way your bowels are going to go. This has totally balanced that for me. But the biggest thing for me is full body discomfort that I would suffer with during flares of my health. And to the point, the only way I can describe how I would feel is like you've just been for a run and then you've maybe been beaten up and you're hungover. That's when I would be really bad. And I'm not saying that I don't get flares, but this supports the flares and it stops me from taking pharmaceuticals, which I'm not saying it will for everyone, but for me it does. It limits any pain medication. Like, I used to literally be popping you know, ibuprofen, paracetamol, you name it, diazepam. Like, I was like popping all of these things constantly. And so now I don't. So I have customers and teammates that have such an array of chronic health disorders that they use CBD to support their body. I have customers that use it with children to regulate when their child maybe is super hyperactive and has a condition. We're not meant to say names because of the FDA owns them. Right. But, you know, when a child is very hyperactive, you may want to use it. Bone conditions, muscle conditions, sleeping conditions, you name it. If something is out in your body,
balance,
then this is going to support you back. It isn't a cure-all, and I would never ever claim that, but it is a food supplement that is so supportive to your body that you get a benefit. And honestly, we started 12, 13 minutes ago, and already, you know, my heart was racing a bit. I was doing a lot before, and already my heart's calmed down, and I just feel this kind of not weird feeling. I just feel, oh, okay, I'm in equilibrium. Right. That's a brief synopsis, but if anyone has anything that they're struggling with, I suggest Google it. Like, Google CBD and your complaint, and you're probably likely to see a whole list of things unleashed before you.
For me personally, it helped my menstrual cycle in that I would have pain back here in my neck and my upper back. And when I started taking this, that's been gone.
That's amazing. You can also, for women, you can pop it in your belly button, because your belly button, it's a way that it feeds into your nerves and your blood through your belly button. And so it's so cool, because if you were having cramps or you had a child that was having severe stomach pain, you can pop like the drops in their belly button and then it goes into their bloodstream. So it's so amazing.
Do you have any other testimonials in your circle that you could share?
I have a couple of more kind of sports related injuries. One of them with my fiance. He was a pro surfer and landed on the board and broke his ankle one day years ago. And he uses this product every single day because it just seems to give him the relief that nothing else was. He was always struggling, and then taking this every day, and also a topical rub that he just applies. So that's really supported him, which is nice. But it was actually the time that I decided to join the business and start taking CBD myself. My dad had a knee replacement and it was pretty much bone on bone. And he was struggling because after that, he, got used to the medication that they were giving him. And his mindset was just, he was so sad, like so low, nothing was getting him out of it. The discomfort that he was struggling with was a lot if he didn't take the pills. And so got him taking the CBD, and now he literally, some days he's like, I'm sorry, I haven't taken it. I know I need to take it. I'm grumpy or I'm struggling. I'm going to take it. So yeah, he's a massive fan. And my mom, the same as you, actually, like with her cycle, it's balanced her, and she's like obviously a lot older than you, but she was taking it and then she's gone through her change. And that has supported her massively through a number of things that were happening, not just mindset, but kind of full body sweats and things. So there's just such an array, I think, just in what I've said, a young sportsman to an older injured man to, a menopausal woman. So there's such a massive coverage that we can apply CBD to.
Can you give some advice about how we take it?
Okay, so CBD is like really interesting because you know what it's like when you usually have something, you want to have more, you have to have more to get the effects, right? Like you're just constantly up leveling. The beautiful thing about CBD is actually less is more. And each person is different. Each person's endocannabinoid system is different, and you just need to work with your own body. So the way we take it is actually sublingually. And I believe this to be the best because you're placing it under your tongue. So it's going into your sublingual glands at the floor of your mouth, and then it's going straight into your system. And so all I do is literally shake my bottle. And sometimes, I've started doing this. I've actually started speaking to my CBD like you would water, for like the frequency, the energy, and just kind of asking it what I need. And then we do have like an average serving, but we have on the bottle, I don't know if you can see there, it basically has the amount of mils that you want to take, but we start people off super low and then we just up level them. So like I literally would lift my tongue and hold it there under my tongue until it sinks into my bloodstream. And then that's literally it. And we have, I don't know what flavor you got, but my favorite is actually the peppermint. But we also have, this one's orange sunshine. We have lemon lime, strawberry guava, watermelon mint, and a neutral flavor, as well as you can take gummies. So for kids, they're really good. Or if you're out on the go, you just want to pop something. And the average results can be instant within 12 hours, or it can take up to about a couple of months, dependent. For me, within that first 12 hours, a better night's sleep, feeling calmer. And then I feel like it shifts. So sometimes I feel I need to be taking a bit more. Sometimes my body's like, you're good at the moment, you're balanced, like you don't need to. So it's all about just listening to people's body and working with people. So we're supporting whoever's taking it into their optimum state.
What caused the hype of it?
I don't know, like CBD suddenly became super sexy, didn't it? I don't know if it is because people are suddenly waking up to the fact that they don't like the control. They don't like chemicals. Everyone is looking for a more natural solution. And I think there were some amazing companies that got involved and made it acceptable. People fought for the rights of it and the legalities of it. And it became accessible to people rather than being this dirty drug. Whereas I feel now everyone's coming back to the fact of like, hemp is health. Hemp is health, and hemp is Mother Nature. It should be part of our lives. It is vitality. It is vibrant. It is living, and we should be able to have it. What I will say on that, though, is there are so many brands out there that really there are certain things that you want to look for. One of the things that we offer is a 60-day money back guarantee. So that actually means that if you had used your bottle, Stephanie, and like nothing, like you just didn't like it, you didn't have any effects, you could have sent it back and got your money back. That, for me, that speaks for itself. But you want to check your purity levels and what is contained in there, because so often it is more than just hemp and hemp seed oil. Like, you do not want extra bits and bobs, especially water, because there's a lot of technology going on, that nanotechnology, but what they're actually doing is breaking down the cannabinoids so much that they can blend with water. But we all know that water and oil don't go together. So we don't want to be breaking. We want those cannabidiol to be intact. And our bottles literally contain 3 ingredients, and that is your CBD, your hemp seed oil, and a flavor. You want CO2 extraction, in my opinion, because it's most gentle, again, kind to the plant and to the chemicals without breaking them down. We're American seed to sale. You want to have a look at growing conditions. We have a process that bags it within, like, picking. It's a fresh dry lock system. And so from picking to packing, it takes 4 minutes, and it literally locks the hemp and seals it, so there's no mold and pathogens. And also you want to look for third-party testing. So don't just go to your gas station and buy the cheapest one. Don't just go to a drugstore and buy the cheapest one. This is going into your bloodstream, your family's bloodstream. Really have a look at what you are buying and putting in your body. And we are all made up of energy and vibration. And some of the things I do to raise my frequency, one of them is CBD. It's known to raise your frequency. I use a frequency and resonance device called a Hayley. That has been helping me so much. But also the main thing for me that's shifted me along with the CBD is sounding a sound bowl and my own sounds, to get that natural, energy coursing through me. And I have to say that CBD is the cause of me finding all of these beautiful tools, because there's something that it did in my mind, and then it rippled to my community, and who was then, being magnetized to me. The CBD did that for me, which is so weird, but just so amazing.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you got something from this video. We have lots of different great practitioners ready to share their information with us. So please subscribe and join our community.